And we're back again.
Welcome back to Virtual Roommates. We were going to do... The last one was pretty fun. We're going to do Romeo and or Juliet again.
But this time I'm going to make the choices.
And I'm going to read.
We're only going to do the two, so we don't spoil too much. And I'm going to take a different path.
Could I have a glass of water?
Oh, I suppose if we're going to break the illusion.
Well, no. Roommates get each other stuff.
Yeah, sure. I want to see if they can hear me from this distance.
They can. I'm looking at the feed. Okay, so do you want to play as Romeo or Juliet?
Well, you played as Juliet last time, so I'll play Romeo.
He's going to play Romeo. Because I played as Juliet last time. Okay.
That way we can get a good sense of divergent paths. The skunk smell's still in the kitchen.
Is it? I don't smell it anymore.
It's in the kitchen, though.
Okay, so what page do I start on?
You start on page, I think it's like... Well, it's not page, it's a number. I think the first one is like number 36. It'll have a picture of Romeo on it.
Number 36.
Not page, the little numbers on them.
Right. Okay. So.
See that? Yeah. So you can skip all that. We've read the summary of what Romeo is.
Okay.
He loves love, loves loving love, and is a good poet. So the next page is where the choice is.
Next page.
Yeah, and see it says where you can go. So I will play as Romeo.
Oh,
and then it says play as Romeo, and then it has a little number, and you go to that number in the red numbers.
So.
See it? See it there?
Turn 27. Gotcha.
So you go to number 27.
Gotcha.
You have to start on 4 as Juliet.
Alright. You are Romeo.
Yay!
You've been wandering around town since dawn. You are up early and sad because you are so in love with Rosaline.
I am. She was nice.
She's perfect. Like you tell yourself.
Yeah.
She's a real grown-up lady, beautiful, with legs that don't quit, and with arms that won't quit, and with the rest of her that's unwilling or unable to quit as well.
I love a non-quitter.
But she's more than just a collection of limbs, isn't she? She's a full-fledged, awesome woman. And she's clever and funny, interesting, and you're certain two people have never been better suited for one another.
It's not her fault that she's entirely made out of hands.
The only problem is that she doesn't return your affection. That's a big problem.
That's a fucking bitch-ass problem.
Like, at all. Dude, you're not even at the, oh, Romeo, I like you as a friend level. You're at the, it's Romeo, right? Level.
Oh,
Listen, Romeo,
real.
I've taken a vow of chastity level. The, hey, I just remembered this vow lasts my entire life, so, sorry level. You can't figure out why she wouldn't bend the rules even a little for you. You're a 15-year-old boy who confessed your love to a woman in her 30s within 5 minutes of meeting her. What's not to like?
That's normal in those times.
I did.
Yeah.
All this walking hasn't helped you make any progress on this problem.
Really? That's the exact opposite of me when I walk.
Yeah. And you're stuck on what you're calling stage 1, trying to figure out the precise series of sounds to make, emotions to emulate, and actions to undertake in order to make Rosaline fall in love with you. Because that's how romance works.
Oh, yeah. Oh, these are the sounds I make. These are the precise combinations of sounds.
That's how I got Lacey.
Yeah.
You're what?
You know how I got Jess?
How?
By going, hey, do you like My Little Pony? I have a deck of playing cards with them on it.
Is it really?
Yes.
Nice. My man. You're pondering this problem when you spot 3 people in conversation up ahead. They look like your parents, Charles and Rosemary, talking with your best friend / cousin, Benvolio.
Is that kind of sad that my best friend is my cousin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Benvolio's great.
I'll feel bad now.
Benvolio's great. Right now he's wearing the super cool vest. It's got badges on it and tassels. I know that sounds terrible, but it's really working for him. I'm still checking out that vest when your parents and Benvolio notice you standing there. Your mom and dad abruptly leave while Benvolio turns and jogs towards you. Good morning, cousin, he shouts, waving. You pretend not to notice because you're sad and want to be left alone, and also because while Benvolio's a good friend, he kind of takes everything literally, which makes him not the best person to talk about feelings with.
Just like you.
Actually, yeah. Actually, you saw Benvolio earlier today, only you didn't want to talk to him just then because you were walking around crying over your feelings. Oh, Romeo, wherefore art thou such a wimp, Romeo? So you jumped
They used it right.
So you jumped into the woods and then hid while crying until he went away, because that's how you solve your problems. But there are no woods here. There's only a garbage can. What do? You either talk to Benvolio or hide in a garbage can.
Oh, I feel like Romeo, being the baby he is, would hide in the garbage can. But I want to try to resolve my problems. So I will talk to my cousin.
Okay. Benvolio shakes your hand repeatedly. Good morning, he says. You ask him if it really is morning, and he confirms that it is. And you figure that's enough small talk. Time to talk about the important things, your feelings.
I mean, yeah.
Let me level with you, Ben, you say. Here's my whole deal. I love someone, but she doesn't like me back. Benvolio agrees that, yeah, that sounds bad, and that love can be rough sometimes. What's rough is that love is supposed to be blind, but it can still see its way into making me do whatever it wants, you say, personifying your emotions as an imagined third party whose tyranny allows you to preemptively absolve yourself of responsibility for your own actions. That's right. Don't think I didn't notice.
Is that the narrator talking?
Yeah. You're about to talk about love some more when you realize it's breakfast o'clock and you haven't even eaten since it was dinner o'clock. That was yesterday. Alright, your choices are redirect the conversation towards breakfast or forget breakfast, talk about love some more.
Let's talk about love some more.
Alright.
We gotta resolve these love issues. Breakfast ain't gonna solve this.
You already have, so many more choices than I had.
Yeah.
At this point...
It's because I'm a man.
At this point, I had no choices.
It's like a metaphor.
I think it is.
I think it's literally intended.
So as I was saying, you say, trying to get thoughts of breakfast out of your head, images of orange juice with just the right amount of pulp and eggs that are perfect, better than perfect. They're the eggs you'd eat in your dreams if only you dreamed bigger. And possibly bigger. And the bacon is so tasty that you roll your eyes like it's a joke. Because it's ridiculous. Nothing should taste this good. And when you swallow, you're certain anything that's tasty has to have some supernaturally terribly hidden price attached to it. Like with every bite, you exchange a few days of your life, but it doesn't matter. You'll pay it. You'll pay it, and you'll say thank you, and you'll be back in a few weeks, digging deep in your pockets just to have it again. Love sure is an emotion that I experience deeply. Do you also like love, you ask? I think it's okay, Benvolio says. Then Benvolio points towards some blood on his face that you hadn't noticed before. Obviously trying to draw your attention to it. Guess what? You're still too into talking about love and thinking about breakfast right now to really pay any attention to it. Your choices are continue talking about love, okay, or okay, I'm sorry, but I could really go for some breakfast. Can we go someplace where I can eat some eggs and continue this conversation?
You know what? I need the eggs now.
You need the eggs.
I need the eggs. You know what? You sold me on it.
Turn to 38.
So we're just not going to address Benvolio's blood.
Okay. Take Benvolio's hand and tell him you're going to this amazing little brunch place you know. Everyone loves brunch, obviously, but you super love brunch. You're so big into brunch that your middle name should be Brunch. But you spent several weeks trying to convince your friends that it's Dr. Lovesworth, so it's way too late for that now. The quality of the eggs Benedict there is off the hook, you say to Benvolio as you lead him down the road.
He's on down the road.
They have twice fried bacon. That's insane. I'm going to ask you about your face over breakfast. Okay, says Benvolio, a little hesitant. He pauses. I got into a fight at the shh, you say, pressing your index finger against his lips. You look up the road, still hushing him. We're almost there. You soon arrive at your destination, an adorable restaurant situated beneath the carved wooden sign reading "The Merchant of Breakfast."
Oh. I feel like I'm very Romeo and you are very Benvolio right now.
Really?
Like this is our relationship. You're in pain and I want food.
Well, yeah. You soon arrive at your destination, an adorable restaurant situated beneath the carved wooden sign reading "The Merchant of Breakfast." Beneath it is a freshly painted illustration of what seems to be their new mascot, a smiling giant anthropomorphic egg happily frying up a regular egg. He's got a voice balloon. "I know not why I'm so tasty," he says. That's new. You take your seats, and a waiter comes by, introduces herself as Jessica, and gives you menus. She's got a red and white checkered handkerchief in her belt. Everything's so homey and fun here. Looking at the menu, you see an image of that egg frying an egg mascot again, only now he's saying, "If you fry us, do we not become extremely tasty?"
That's a Merchant of Venice reference.
"Here's a round of water. Can I get y'all some coffee to start?" Jessica asks. "Coffee, please. 2 milks, 2 sugars," says Benvolio, "and the pound o' flesh looks good."
Oh!
"Yes, I will have that. Bacon, please." "Certainly," Jessica says and turns. "And for you?" You glance at the menu. All the dishes have cute names now. You're trying to decide between the eggs that many men desire, scrambled apparently. The devil can cite spinach and ham for his purpose. Spinach and ham, quiche.
I would eat an ironic Shakespeare breakfast facility.
And the love is blind. If by blind you mean delicious, and by love you mean this French toast. After a few moments of careful consideration, you do manage to choose your own breakfast. Let Jessica know your choice and get some juice to go with it. "I'll be back with that in the twinkling of an eye, sweetheart," she says, and she's gone. You and Benvolio look at each other. "So, hey."
For the record, I chose the French toast.
Great. "So, hey, what's up with your face?" you finally say. "I was at the beach, the one by the lake." You nod. "It's the best beach." "Well, I showed up and dudes were biting their thumbs at each other," Benvolio says. "I didn't know if the law was on their side or not." He takes a sip of his water. "Frankly," he says, "I'm not even sure why we have laws about where and when citizens are permitted to bite thumbs. Seems kind of dumb." "Welcome to Verona," you say. "Yeah, well, I broke it up, but still got a little bloody. Tybalt Capulet punched me in the nose." Tybalt. "So I punched him back on his shoulder and then stole his vest. That's justice," Benvolio says. You nod. "Beach justice," you whisper, eyes wide. Benvolio looks around the room to see if anyone else is listening in. "Our family and the Capulets keep fighting, cuz. I dunno. There's got to be a way to end this." You say, "I know just the thing." Suggest killing all the Capulets or suggest marrying all the Capulets?
Wow.
Would you like to go to the bathroom and have a regular day, or would you like to lay on the floor moaning?
This is just a regular Mass Effect decision.
Yeah.
Do you want to murder everyone?
Or spend the rest of your life having sex with them?
I feel like Romeo would marry everyone.
Think Romeo would marry everyone?
Yes, and because he marries Juliet, and that fucks everything up because it's just the one. But if we all do it, how are we going to police it? Okay. Marry all the Capulets.
Okay. "I appreciate how you try to break up this fight," you say, "but I'm a lover, not a fighter. Let's play to my strengths. What if I just married all the Capulets instead? Then they'd be in our family, and we wouldn't be able to feud anymore, and then the Capulet line would become extinct, assuming I require that all my spouses, male or female, took my last name. Also, we'll need to repeal bigamy laws, but I've done some research on this." Here you begin to pull out a stack of papers from beneath your shirt, place them on the table between you. "I think that with a few years of concerted lobbying, real progress could be made." Benvolio flips through the papers. "I can see you've actually put quite a bit of thought into this," he says, impressed. and I respect that you're looking at the long game, but I think this is one problem that won't be solved by you marrying everyone.
There's
Weird.
no such problem.
Weird, you say, taking the papers and stuffing them back into your shirt. Just then, your food arrives. Finally, it's breakfast. Eat a tasty meal. Turn to 32.
Do I enjoy my breakfast?
Let's find out.
I need to know.
Let's find out. Jessica appears at the table with your breakfast orders. You thank her, and soon you've begun the mechanical and chemical process of eating, which is required to sustain life. Without it, you'd be forced to rely on your fat and muscle reserves. Those would be depleted in only a few weeks at the most. The first step in eating is to carefully push a prepared egg dish in front of you into your stomach via your face. You decide to do this in tiny stages, one forkful at a time. That accomplished, you use the teeth protruding into the flesh of your mouth from your skull to slice and grind food in smaller pieces. This aids in digestion. Your choices are learn more about eating or continue talking.
I want to know more about eating.
That's what I thought you would say.
I think you do too.
Yeah. While you chew, you mentally review what you know about eating. You think of the many substances you require, air, water, food, and reflect that if you cannot access them for even a second, then a timer starts. And when that timer starts, you will die. Of air, water, and food, you like food the most, since that's the one with the longest timer. You can live weeks without food. Weeks! At the most, you'll only last 3 days without water. Romeo, and you'd be lucky to last 3 minutes without air. Breathing, drinking, eating. They're really just ways to postpone death for a little longer. Each breath buys you a few more seconds. Each drink, a handful of days. This meal will keep you alive for at least another 24 hours, assuming you don't fail to drink or breathe in that time. But mess that last one step up and it's just about instant death, huh, Romeo? As you reflect on that, you suddenly become aware of your breathing, and shortly afterwards, you're suddenly aware of how you're now breathing manually. In and out. How long does the breath normally take? Why is this so hard? Anyway, don't worry, Romeo. There's probably lots of oxygen in the room. I mean, it's invisible, so it's not like you can say for sure, but the odds that this breath will be your last because all the air randomly moves somewhere else are pretty small, right? Anyway, Benvolio is asking you something about the Capulets. You should probably use your manual breathing control to handle your respiration needs while also expelling air such that your vocal cords vibrate in a controlled way. If you can pull it off, you'll be able to talk without dying. Your two choices are talk without dying or choke and suffocate.
Hey, I'm glad Benvolio asked me about the Capulets so that the story could continue. But I could have listened for another 12 hours to Brooks explaining how breathing and eating works. Did we stop?
I don't think it stopped.
Boop. And we're recording again.
Do you want to choke and die, or do you want to talk?
I'll talk and live.
Okay. Talking without dying.
Yay.
23. Alright.
I just like that they gave me the option.
Ryan submitted a bio to go along with this book, so you're in luck. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm reading the wrong one.
I want to know where that one comes from. How do we get there?
Okay. Let's see. Do the Capulets even have any daughters your age? Benvolio says, digging into the food piled in front of him. I don't know, probably, you say while chewing. I'm going to marry Rosaline first, though. Just as soon as she realizes she wants some vitamin R.
Oh,
Vitamin
God.
Rosaline? Says Benvolio. No, vitamin Romeo, you say. What's a vitamin? Asks Benvolio. Listen, you say, pushing your breakfast to the side so you can have some real talk. If we're going to end this without bloodshed, we need a plan. A real plan. To do what? Benvolio says. In response, you slide your breakfast back in front of you and cut off a bite of your food and put it in your mouth. all while maintaining unbroken eye contact with Benvolio.
I do this often.
You and me are going to end our parents' strife, you say through a dramatic mouthful of egg. How, Benvolio says. Easy, you say. We spy on them. One of us tags my parents, the other takes the Capulets. Once we know their secret hopes, dreams, desires, fears, and weaknesses, once we know them better than they know themselves, we use our knowledge to manipulate both people and events to achieve our goals. We'll guide them towards peace without them even knowing we're there. Ah, I get it, said Benvolio. So the Capulets and Montagues will think they're making their own decisions, but we'll actually be the ones in charge of what they decide. We'll be like gods, or like people playing one of those choose-your-own ad. Yes, you say, interrupting. Yes, we'll be like either one of those two things.
It's funny because that's what we're doing right now.
Are you in? Absolutely, Benvolio says. You signal for the bill. When it arrives, it turns out that mascot is back again, printed at the top. Now he's frying an egg and saying, all that glitters is our golden egg special. 2 served as you like them, with coffee or juice and your choice of home fries or toast, every day before 11 a.m. Huh, you say. So do you want to shadow your parents or the Capulets? Benvolio asks as you make your way outside the restaurant. I clearly know my own parents best, you say, but on the other hand, familiarity might blind me to certain things that an outside observer would see. It's a tricky problem, however. I think we can both agree on what the extremely obvious right choice is right here. What is it?
Spy on the Capulets.
You want to spy on the Capulets?
I want to spy on the Capulets.
Oh, you don't want to do that. No,
well, I might not. There could be an ending right there.
Alright. Okay, so.
I mean, I guess my goal is not to avoid endings, just get a good one.
Alright. You stroll confidently to your parents' house, walking in the front door without even knocking. Mom, Dad, it's me, Romeo. I decided to drop by and pay you a visit for no reason. Your parents don't answer. You quickly ascertain that they're out of the house right now. Perfect chance to go through their documents and learn more about them. Half an hour later, you have determined most of your parents' documents are super boring. There's only one document in particular that stands out, and it reads as follows. The secret hopes, dreams, desires, fears, and weaknesses of Mrs. Montague. By me, Mrs. Montague. Private! My hopes, that Romeo lives in Verona forever so he can come and visit us whenever he wants, all the time.
Aww.
My dreams, mainly of my beloved only son Romeo coming to visit me all the time. My desires, that my hopes and dreams are fully realized, duh. My fears, for example, and I know it's ludicrous, but sometimes I worry about what would happen if Romeo was banished from Verona and he could never visit me again. My weaknesses, if Romeo got banished, then I'm pretty sure that my grief and my son's exile will have stopped my breath. Well, you say, folding up a piece of paper and putting it in your pocket, that just saved me a lot of time. You meet up with Benvolio that evening. He reports that he disguised himself as a maid, and it was kind of flirty and fun, and he had a great time. He also reports that while cleaning the room the Capulets were in with their daughter, Juliet, he found a note. He passes it to you, and you pass him the note you found in exchange. You examine the new note, which reads, The secret hopes, dreams, fears, and weaknesses of Mrs. Capulet, by me, Mrs. Capulet. Do not read. My hopes, not only that Juliet marries a cool dude of my choosing. My dreams, I dream of my beloved only daughter Juliet marrying a cool dude of my choosing. It's that same dream over and over every night, and now when I wake up in the morning, I'm more tired than when I went to bed. Why? My desires. Juliet marries a cool dude of my choosing. Maybe then the dreams will, at long last, stop? My fears. If Juliet won't marry a cool dude of my choosing, my dreams will punish me more. My weaknesses. If Juliet died without marrying the cool dude of my choosing, I don't know what I'd do. Probably I'd raise Verona to the ground or build a solid gold statue in her honor. Either one, really. You look at Benvolio.
It's quite a diverse set of choices she has there.
You look up at Benvolio. Okay, he says. So now we know their weaknesses. Your mom will die if you get banished. Juliet's mom will either kill everyone or commission new statuary if Juliet dies without getting married first? Right, you say? But I feel like I should stress that we want to get these two families together without killing my mom and or else everyone else at the same time. Right? Right, Benvolio says. So how do we do this? How do we use these weaknesses to stop these two families from fighting? You think for a moment, then Ben snaps his fingers. I have the perfect scheme, he says. First you get sentenced to banishment, but then at the last moment the Capulets swoop in and commute your sentence. They'll make the Montagues like the Capulets for sure. Sure, but the Capulets would never do that, you say. Why would they want to prevent the son of their worst enemy from being banished? Because, he says, at the same time we get some Montague cousins to marry Juliet. I see where you're going with this, you say.
I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
But it doesn't work. I only escape banishment if the Capulets like the Montagues. That only happens if Juliet and the Montague marry. That only happens if the Montagues like the Capulets. But that only happens if I escape banishment because the Capulets like me. Right, Benvolio says. Montague won't marry Capulet because Montague hates Capulet, and Capulet won't rescue Montague because Capulet hates Montague. He smiles at you. Geez, Romeo, if only there was some force stronger than hatred to break this stalemate. You know, a force so strong that we'd have no choice but to call it, oh, I don't know, love? Love, you echo. Yes, love. If Juliet and Montague marry each other, they'll want to get married. Nothing will stop them. And that marriage brings the two houses together. Tensions fade, you get banished, the Capulets rescue you, and that just seals the deal. Everyone's happy and peace comes to Verona forever. The end. You shrug. Right, so all we need is a man who Juliet will fall in love with on sight while he simultaneously falls in love with her. How hard could it be, right? Look, we're both classy guys, and she's probably nice. One of us should be the one to go meet her and do his level best to make her fall in love with him. You or me, Benvolio says. And I nominate you. Well, I nominate you, you say. I'm in love with Rosaline, remember? Yes, I haven't forgotten, he says. And you haven't forgotten, Romeo, that there's only one way to settle a dispute like this. You nod. I'd expect nothing less, you say. Good, Benvolio says. You lock eyes with him, curling your left hand into a fist. He does the same. The air between you crackles. Rock, paper, scissors, you whisper. 1, 2, 3, and...
Scissors.
Scissors, 83. Benvolio chooses rock. He taps his fist against your fingers. Rock smashes scissors, he says. Rock wins again. Fine, you say. I'll go chat up Juliet. Whatever. Go make Juliet fall in love with you. Turn to page 53.
I want to be with Rosalind, though.
You knock on the front door of Capulet Castle and the servant answers. Hello, I was wondering if I could call on Juliet. I'm an eligible suitor and this call is regarding marriage. But of course, the servant says, Juliet and her parents are upstairs. The servant indicates the appropriate room and leads you to it. You adjust your hair, take a deep breath, and go for it. Hello, everyone, you say, pushing open the door and walking into the room. Even though I love someone else, I heard there was a stone-cold fox of marriageable age here and decided I was willing to be persuaded. As you step into the room, you see a woman, Lady Capulet. Beside her is an older man, her husband, Lord Capulet. Beside them you see the most beautiful woman you've ever met. You instantly forget all about Rosaline. Juliet's staring at you, her mouth slightly open like she's shocked too. And Romeo, I like you, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. This whole love at first sight thing you're feeling right now, she feels exactly the same way.
Oh, sweet!
You say, I'm... Juliet's parents turn to look at you. I'm a twin, you say, which is to say I have a brother who looks just like me. The only difference is I am the dumb, loudmouth one who walks into rooms saying things he regrets. Hold on, let me go get my much cooler twin brother before disappearing forever. You close the door, take a step away, and softly bang your head against the wall. Smooth move, Romeo. It's insane how attractive Juliet is. You didn't know it was possible to desire someone so badly. The door beside you opens and Juliet steps out of it. She closes the door behind her and looks at you shyly. My name is Juliet, she says.
That's not the voice I gave her.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't stop looking at you. I've never felt like this about anyone before. You smile. You should know I'm not really a twin, you say. I'm just stupid. Forget all that stuff I said about loving someone else. That's, well, it's not true, not anymore. She runs a hand through your hair. Good, she says and smiles. I'm Romeo, you say. Listen, I don't normally do whatever this is, but I need to tell you something. 2 things, actually. You take a deep breath, drop to one knee, take her hand, and say the bravest thing you've ever said. If I profaned with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, you say, the gentle sin is this, my lips 2 blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. She smiles down at you. Hey, also, I'm kinda a Montague, you say.
Kinda.
She gasps and yanks her hand away. She turns to run back into the room but stops with her hand on the door. She's motionless for a few seconds and then, without turning, she speaks. My only love sprung from my only hate, she says, sighing.
That's the play line.
Her hand hovers above the door handle. Then she turns back, takes your head in her hands, and kisses you hard. Though meeting you like this feels much like fate, she whispers, and she whispers between smooches.
Smooches! We're smooching!
Kiss her back on page 69.
Yeah! That's what I'll do. That's what Romeo would do too.
The 2 of you kiss each other for long enough that I actually start to get a little uncomfortable. This is crazy, you say. This is crazy, Juliet agrees. You want to stop, Romeo Montague. No, not on your life, Juliet Capulet, you reply. I don't want to stop this until the day I die. She looks at you, and you realize what you've said, and you don't care. You know what, you say, taking her hands in yours. That's truth. Let's get married, Juliet. Now that's crazy, she says. I'm serious, you say. Let's get married, or at least engaged. We don't have to rush into things if we don't want to, right? We can stay engaged for a while if we want. Juliet says, engagements for wimps. We need to have the courage of our convictions, she says. Hey Romeo, watch this. And then she opens the door, steps to the room, and pulls you in behind her. Mom, Dad, she says, this is Romeo Montague. We just got engaged. We're getting married on the ASAP. They turn to look at you, shocked. Sir, ma'am, you say, I know our families have had their differences in the past, but her mother talks over you. Juliet, she says, are you serious? Do you really intend to marry this Montague? I do, she says. I never believed in love at first sight before, but, whoa, seriously, Mom, it's real. So real. I wouldn't be surprised if Romeo and I go down as the poster child for love at first sight after this.
I need to tell her that I'm a cool dude.
Her parents look at each other. This would solve our Montague problem, Juliet's mom says. He marries the Capulets for both the same family and band, allies instead of enemies. Do you think the Montagues will see it the same way? Juliet's dad says. Honey, they're not stupid, she replies. They can see the same advantages we can. This marriage can put an end to almost 70 years of unremitting hostility between our 2 houses. Hostility which, I remind you, both sides can no longer afford. Juliet's dad seems lost in thought. Then he takes her hand in his and shakes it warmly. My boy, he says, you and Juliet are married 2 weeks later in front of both of your houses. Vivolia is more than happy to serve you as your best man. The end. Okay, wow, congratulations, Romeo. You met Juliet, got married super fast, ended the conflict between your 2 families, and ate a fun and cool breakfast. Now who says reading isn't fun?
Yeah.
Congratulations. You did the one thing that even Shakespeare couldn't do. Keep you both alive.
Awesome. I want to see if I can choke and die. Except I don't know where that was.
I don't remember either.
I'll just follow my trail.
Alright. That was fun.
That's a fun book. Everyone should buy it. And support authors.
There's your sample. Go get it.
Yeah. There's some with mech suits. There's ones where you become wrestlers. It looks like I'm just judging on the illustrations.
Find the way to do all that, and then
Record your own reading.
no, that's our thing.
Oh, like, okay. We should do one of these with other friends.
No, that's our thing.
Yeah, talk about love some more. Breakfast. Yeah. You like Shakespeare, Brooks? Big on shakes? Billy Shakes?
I'm not. I appreciate it, but I don't. I've never willingly read a Shakespeare book.
It's always been for a class.
Always been for a class.
I genuinely really like Shakespeare. I'm a dork.
Oh, it's good.
Learn more about eating. Yeah. Choke and suffocate. 31.
You want me to
Yeah,
read it?
yes, you can choke. No, they have to read it if they want to know.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes, that is an option that leads to things. There's. It's Benvolio. We're gonna stop here. It was lovely hanging with you all, wasn't it, Brooks?
It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed me talking for 90% of this one.
Yes, and I drawing for most of this one. Love you, booze.